Hi there, it's LDake again with Kale Realty, your Illinois licensed broker. And today I'm going to show you how to make some really easy appetizers. You won't break a sweat, you won't break the bank, and you won't go overboard if you know what I mean. Stick around and find out how. Okay, and we're back. So let's define first what I'm talking about as far as appetizers. Sandwiches. Well, specifically finger sandwiches, or maybe you've heard of afternoon tea sandwiches. Basically something that you can eat in a bite or two, but no, I'm not talking about sliders today. We'll save that for another time. This is to be a little bit more on the classy side, but it's not expensive. And especially if you use some of the same base ingredients and carry it over from one to the next, to the next, to the next, so you have a nice variety, it actually isn't noticeable, so you won't get into the monotony zone, if you know what I'm saying. For example, you'll notice that I believe in almost every one of them that I'm going to show you in slides, I used one English cucumber, the longer skinny ones, specifically because the skin is a little less tough, and also especially because the seeds are smaller and more pliable so that you can slice them nice and skinny. The reason why is on sandwiches that I eat, I'm one of those types that orders extra pickle, right? Well, we're trying to keep things light and airy here, especially because this year especially, people are getting back into gathering a little bit more. Maybe you want to do something different for Mother's Day instead of going to a crowded restaurant. Maybe you don't feel comfortable with that just yet. So what you do is you use cucumber with some fresh dill, maybe add a little garlic, maybe add some salt and pepper, maybe a little lemon juice, mixed into a salad type recipe using maybe mayonnaise or maybe whipped cream cheese, easier to turn around, right? Maybe a combination of the two to make it extra creamy. And then you've got a much more fresh, open and inviting, and wow, what was that version of a pickle. It works, it really does, because think about what the base ingredients are, right? And in fact, one of the sandwiches that I did, I'll never make it any other way ever again, is egg salad. Well, in this case, I used pickled egg. And the way I did that was I hard-boiled an egg and actually put it into the juice left over from the pickled beets that I ate and added a little bit of extra vinegar, let it sit in the fridge for a couple days like that. Not only did it come out really pretty, which you'll see in the slides, but that with my pickle base, as I was just explaining, it was the best egg salad sandwich I've ever had. It was really good. So that's something that I'm going to totally encourage everybody to do from now on. Not to mention, it's a nice healthy snack. Also, one of the nice things about doing all these different kinds of sandwiches is you get creative. You can use different kinds of bread. In most of these, I used a brioche. You can also use like dark rye pumpernickel bread. If you want, you can do open face like on large crackers, or even like a bruschetta or something where it's toasted crusty bread, you know, just in the circles. Jazz it up a little bit if you want to change things. Mostly I just cut these into small triangles or small fingers or in blocks. But again, you have fun with however this will work out for you. So I hope you enjoy them. Let's take a look. Okay, so what did you think? I know some of you have got a question that says, but Lori, you didn't give me the measurements. I don't cook that way. I really don't. As someone has said before on the internet, I follow what the ancestors say until they tell me enough, child. So I do a lot of tasting as I go. And as you've seen in some of my other videos, I keep a pile of spoons handy. Snack, toss, snack, a little bit more. And I keep going from there. So I invite you to make your own versions of these. As I told you, try and carry some of the ingredients over from one to the next. And there's other ingredients that you can do, other sandwiches you can make. Tuna salad, you can make it with watercress, I hear is popular. You can make it with smoked salmon. I know a lot of people like that with the cream cheese. Others are into that liver pate with some onion on it, maybe a little bit of good mustard. There's all kinds of things you can make. And the more of these individual sandwiches that you make and put out, the more your guests are going to be really wowed. And the best part is, it really is not hard. And you can even get the kids to eat one or two of these instead of chicky nuggies and chalky milk. So, again, I'm Lori Dake with Kale Realty, your Illinois licensed broker, and I'd love to hear from you. And hey, go on my Instagram and tag me in some of the creations that you made, okay? And remember, I always have time for you and your referrals.